Why, hi, hello, and welcome everyone to my exhibit. I am going to be conveying my masterpieces, my artworks collected throughout the years. Yes, I did paint them myself. Now, for your consumption, because art is nothing but a product to be consumed, I'm going to be painting on this blank canvas for all of your dear, short attention spans to consume. Now, allow me to embody the energy through which I want to channel onto this blank canvas. Silence, please. Silence, please. If I so much as hear a single voice utter a sound syllable or echo, I will go ape crazy. Now, let me just absorb the energy of the canvas, see what exactly it wants me to paint upon it. You must always ask the consent of the canvas before you paint upon it. That way there is a symbiotic relationship between the two of you where you are both exchanging a sense of understanding of one physical form to another physical form. For what are we all if not just matters taking up space, masses if you will. Now, let us see, let us inspect. I'm seeing a lot of twinges of gold and a lot of details of perhaps chartreuse. I quite enjoy the idea of having indigo lining. Let's see. Yellow. The canvas is in most dire need of yellow. If it does not receive the yellow, the canvas will, in fact, be completely soulless, lifeless, energyless. So some yellow would do it some good. Yellow, indigo, and please, everyone in the audience, bear with me while I regard the canvas by they them pronouns, for it can be a little bit objective, and by a little bit I mean definition objective. So we will be painting upon their face with some yellow. What shade of yellow? I do quite enjoy this one, but we could always unleash the packet right here. Unleash said packet, the Bob Ross collection, and see what colors we have in our possession today. How about some watercolor? We have not yet discussed whether or not this precious little canvas would prefer some oil paint, some acrylic paint, or some watercolors. I'm just trying to feel the energy of this canvas to see what exactly its mood, their mood is in right now. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to grab a watercolor palette, and see what exactly we can do with that. We also have another shade of yellow, which was the shade I was desiring, but although I desire it, it is inconsequential, for it is the palette, the canvas themselves, that must call for the color to be placed upon it. Them. I'm so sorry, my dear canvas. I'm so sorry for all of the mispronunciations that my brain is wired to not give you. I will be giving you all that you deserve and working to give you all that you deserve. Now, let's pop open this yellow. Tell me, my dear canvas, is this the yellow that you so choose? Or would you far prefer a shade of a more sort of orange-influenced yellow? Or perhaps would you far prefer having more of a watercolor texture placed upon your face? Perhaps one of the more acrylic yellows is a preference that you hold. Which, tell me, do you prefer? Whisper it into my ear. Interesting. The canvas has chosen the watercolor. The watercolor is a solid choice. Now, tell me, we have a myriad of options here. We can paint with all three yellows. We simply need to hear, per your own words, per your own preference, per your own choice, if you would desire to have all three, watercolor, oil, and acrylic, placed upon your visage, as long as it best represents your energy. The canvas has chosen a color combination of purple, yellow, and green for their energies, and I quite enjoy that. How does blue sound? I find that it would balance out the purple and the green. Excellent choices, excellent choices. Yellow, purple, green, and blue from the watercolor palette, correct? From this selection, perfect. I will now be opening up this paintbrush. Bear with me, folks, I am working with one hand. Let's see, much like, you know what, artists who work for the consumption of art, or rather the critique of art, or have a sort of pretentiousness about art, and for the children's sake, let's try to be as metaphorical as possible. The jerk-offs have in common, they both work with one hand. So let us begin. Perfect. I have broken the paintbrush. Isn't that splendid? But although it is broken, it is not useless, for the paint will now have its own interesting personality. I'm going to be placing this microphone onto the floor, for I have given up on using one hand. Lovely. The paintbrush is not in fact broken. It was just the plastic protector of the little follicles that was broken. But in fact, the little paintbrush is perfectly fine, to my great amazement. Now let us begin with the coloring. I have some water here. Water. I am a professional painter, yes, of course, years of training. Look at the artworks behind me. Are they not stunning? Tools of my design, products of my work, the fruits of my labor. Now let us begin to dip our paintbrush into that water. Boom, boom, boom. Dip, dip, dip. Boom, boom, boom. Dip, dip, dip. And place it onto the yellow right here, yes. I'm going to be placing this watercolor palette right here upon my knees, so that way it is in full viewing of the canvas, for the canvas has every right to see every step of the process. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm going to be testing it on the microphone first, just to get the right sort of texture and coloring onto the desired consistency and the desired sort of texture. And I'm just going to be placing it onto the canvas, very gently, very smoothly, very delicately. How are you feeling, my dear canvas? Do you find that the yellow is enacting its energy onto you as you so desired? Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Now, let us begin next with the clean off this paintbrush, for it needs to be cleansed. I'm going to be simply dipping it in there. Please don't move, watercolors. You don't have my permission to move. Dipping it into that water, and now we're going to be dipping a little bit into the purple, actually, the purple. Get a little nice purple action. Purple action. Tell me, in your own minds, for I will read your mind's eye, if you prefer purple with more of a red influence or more of a blue influence. I find that it characterizes people differently if you prefer it with a red influence or with a blue influence. It's quite fascinating, really. I find that those that prefer with a more red consistency might be a little more extroverted, and those that prefer with a more blue consistency are a little more introverted. Let's see. I'm going to be placing this onto the canvas. How are you doing, my dear canvas? How are you holding up? Do you find yourself feeling most relaxed by the purple? The color of lavender, of course, is the color of lavender. Lavender. Perfect, perfect. Just a little more up there, and then yes, 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 yes. I find that painting with purple gives one the most soothing, relaxing experience. Don't you all find? Don't you all find? Now we're going to be removing the purple, and we're going to be placing in a little green to reconnect us with nature. Yes, whatever is left of it. Now let us put a little bit of speckle, 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 some speckles of green into the canvas. Let's see, my darling. How are you doing so far? Do you find Mother Earth radiating through you now? Yes, lovely, lovely. Let's put a little speckle there, a little speckle there, a little speckle there, a little speckle there. Speckle, 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 speckle. Speckle, 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 speckle. Speckle, 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 speckle. Let's put a little more green, because we can never have enough green. That's the one thing that we just can never have. We can have too much concrete and industrialization, but we can never have enough green. You might say that Ted Kaczynski was right. Put a little green in there. Put a little green. Put a little green in there. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yes, put a little more green. A little more. A little more green. Put a little more green. Put a little more green. Test it on the microphone a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just to get a nice consistency. Just to get a nice consistency. And now add it onto the canvas itself, to the canvas themselves. My darling, forgive me. I will do better. There we go. Just a little green. Just a little green. A little green. A little green. A little green. Speckle, 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 speckle. Placing it into the water, into the water, into the water, into the water. And now, the final blue. Just putting a little blue onto this. It's to unite the colors together, much like a ribbon. Much like a ribbon unites objects together. This blue will be uniting so much together, together, together forever and ever. Let's dabble, 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 dabble this blue in. Dabble this blue in. Dabble, 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 dabble. Dabble this blue in. Dabble this blue in. Dabble, 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 dabble. Dabble this blue in. Give it a little dabble. Give it a little dabble. Dabble, dabble. Dabble, dabble. Dabble this blue in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now to cleanse, 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 cleanse. Return all items back to the painting box, for cleanliness is next to godliness. And are we not all gods? Are we not all gods, canvas? You are the truest portrayal of God, for you are merely pedestaled by your very existence, but then dejected and removed from your divine energy the moment you are discarded as a product, much like humanity. You're all divine until you're discarded as nothing more than a product, data, labor, all used from you but not for you. Let us return these paints back to the box. Return the paints back to the box. I wonder why pain is the root of the word paint. Is it because art is now suffering when before it was the natural way? Our ancestors only ever created art for the sake of creating art. Now pain has become suffering. Paint has become suffering. For we have injected it with utility, use, consumerism, and production, as if art were yet another object for sale. It's strange how even the most holy and divine things are up for sale. So, let us examine the canvas, stare into the canvas, observe the canvas, make sure the canvas is fully realized for all of the energy within the canvas. No speaking, please, no speaking. Speaking is merely a bastardization of the words going on inside your mind, words or concepts going on inside your mind, the abstract thoughts constantly percolating at your mind. Allow the canvas to merely exist for existence' sake and admire it. Stunning. Stunning. Stunning, 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 stunning. But also, doesn't need to be stunning. 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 And also, doesn't need to be anything. 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 Now, I will now be shrouding this canvas for the canvas to do some internal reflection, so that way it carves up an identity separate from the collective, through which it can express through individuality and the freedom that we allot the canvas. So, allow me to drape it over. Sweet dreams, canvas. Sweet dreams.